Chapter 14. An Exciting Rescue. The children, Moonface and Silky, went down the crooked streets of the land of toys, calling the old saucepan man. Of course, Saucepan is very deaf, said Joe. He might not hear us calling him, even if he was locked up somewhere nearby. They went on again, shouting and calling. The toys, hurrying by, stared at them in surprise. "Why do you keep calling Saucepan, Saucepan?" asked a well-dressed doll. "Are you selling saucepans or something?" "No," said Joe, "we're looking for a friend." Just then Silky heard something. She clutched Joe's arm. "Shh," she said, "listen." Everyone stood still and listened. Then, floating on the air, came a well-known voice singing a silly song. "Two trees in a teapot, 2 spoons on a pie, 2 clocks up the chimney high, diddly 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 eye." "It's Saucepan," cried Joe. "Nobody but Saucepan sings silly songs like that. Where is he?" They looked all around. There was a toy soldier fort not far off, but of course much bigger than an actual toy fort would be. The song seemed to be coming from there. 2 mice on a lamp-post, 2 hums on a bee, 2 shoes on a rabbit high, diddly 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 dee. Joe laughed loudly. "I never knew such a stupid song," he said. "I can't imagine how Saucepan Man can make it up. It's coming from that fort. That's where he's locked up." Everyone looked at the red-painted fort. Soldiers walked up and down it, and a drawbridge was pulled up so that no one could get in or out. When a soldier wanted to go out of the drawbridge was let down, and the soldier stepped over it. Then it was pulled up again. "Well, Saucepan is definitely in there," said Moonface. And by the way, don't call to him, any of you. We don't want the soldier guards to know that we're any friends of his, or else they will guess that we want to rescue him." "Oh, do let's try and let him know we're here," said Beth. "He'd be very glad, as he must feel so worried and unhappy. I know a way of telling him we are here without anyone guessing we are friends of his," said Joe. Suddenly, "Listen." He stood and thought for a moment. Then he raised his voice and sang a little song. 2 boys in the high road, 2 girls in the street, 2 friends feeling sorry, sweet tweet, tweet tweet, tweet tweet. Everyone roared with laughter. "It's very clever, Joe," said Rick. 2 boys, Saucepan will know that is me. 2 girls, that's Beth and Franny. 2 friends, Silky and Moonface. Saucepan will know we are all here." A terrible noise came from inside the fort, a clanging and banging, and clanging and crashing. Everyone listened. "That's old Saucepan Man dancing around to let us know he heard and understood," said Joe. "Now, the thing is, how are we going to rescue him?" They walked down the street, talking, trying to think of some good way that they could save poor Saucepan. They came to a clothes shop. In it were dolls' clothes of all sorts. In the window was a set of sailors' clothes too. Joe stared at them. "Now, I wonder," he said. "I just wonder if they've got any soldiers' clothes," said Moonface. "Soldiers' clothes. Moonface, lend me your money bag if you've got any money in it." Moonface put his money bag into Joe's hand. Joe disappeared into the shop. He came out with 3 sets of bright red soldier guard uniforms, with big black helmets. "Come on," he said, in an exciting voice. "Come, somewhere where we shan't be seen." They all hurried down the street and came to a field where some toy cows stood grazing. They climbed over the gate and went behind the bushes. "Rick, see if this uniform will fit you," said Joe. "I'll put this one on." "But Joe, what are we going to do?" asked Beth in surprise. "I thought you would have guessed," said Joe, putting the uniform on quickly. "We're going to see if we can march into the fort, get old Saucepan Man out. I should think they will let down the drawbridge for us if we're dressed like the other soldiers." Is this third suit for me?" asked Moonface. "No, Moonface," said Joe. "I don't think you'd look a bit like a soldier, even if you were dressed in one. You must stay outside and look after Beth and Franny and Silky. The third suit is for old Saucepan Man. They won't let me take him out of the fort covered in kettles and saucepans. They will know it's the prisoner and will stop him. We'll have to take off his kettles and things, and he'll have to wear the uniform. Then maybe we can rescue him easily." "Joe, you are really clever," said Silky. Joe felt very pleased. He buckled his belt and put on his black helmet. He did look impressive. So did Rick. "Now we're ready," said Joe. "Moonface, if by any chance Rick and I are caught, you must take the girls safely back to the tree, okay?" "Okay," said Moonface. "Good luck, boys." Everyone went out of the field and walked back to the fort. Then when they got near it, Rick and Joe began to march very well indeed. Left, right, left, right, left, right. They came to the fort. "Soldiers, let down the drawbridge," yelled Joe in his loudest and most commanding voice. The guards peered over the wall of the fort. When they saw the two well-dressed soldiers, he saluted at once and began to let down the drawbridge. Crash! It fell flat to the ground, and Rick and Joe walked over it into the fort. Creak, creak. The drawbridge was drawn up again. Joe and Rick marched right into the fort. Soldiers saluted them at once. "I wish to talk to the prisoner here," said Joe. "Yes, sir," said the wooden soldier, saluting. He took a key from his belt and gave it to Joe. "First door on the right, sir," he said. "Be careful, he might be dangerous." "Thanks, good man," said Joe, and marched to the first door on the right. He unlocked it, and he and Rick went in and shut the door. Saucepan was there. When he saw the two soldiers, he fell to his knees. Set me free, he begged. "I didn't mean to steal that toffee. I thought this was the land of goodies." "Saucepan Man, it's us," whispered Joe, taking off his helmet so that the Saucepan Man could see him plainly. "We've come to save you. Put on this uniform quickly." "But what about my kettles and saucepans?" said the Saucepan Man. "I can't leave them behind." "Don't be silly, you'll have to," said Joe quick, Rick, help him off with them." The two boys stripped every single pan and kettle to make saucepan so he was able to dress up in the red uniform. He trembled so much with excitement that they had to do up every button for him. "Now march close to us and don't say a word," said Joe. When Saucepan was ready, his kettles and saucepans lay in a heap on the floor. He fell over them as he scrambled across to Joe and Rick. Joe opened the door, and all three marched out, keeping in step. Left, right, left, right, left, right. The other soldiers in the fort looked up, but saw nothing but three of their comrades, or so they thought. Joe shouted to the guard, "Let the drawbridge down." "Very good, sir," cried the guard, and let it down with a crash. Joe, Rick, and the Saucepan Man marched out at once. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Moonface and the girls could hardly believe when they saw the third soldier, knowing it was old Saucepan Man. He did look different in his uniform, without his pants hung all around him. Silky flew to hug him, and then the guard of the Yellow Fort yelled out in a loud voice, "I believe that's the prisoner! I believe he's escaping! Hey, after them! Quick, run, run!" cried Joe, and they all ran fast. Soldiers poured out of the fort after them. Teddy bears and dolls joined in the chase, and animals pattered behind on 4 feet. "To the hole in the cloud," shouted Joe. "Run, Beth, run, Franny. Oh, I hope we get there in time."